What is up, guys? Welcome to another video, and today we are here with another Ask Hippo with a bunch of questions which you guys asked in the last episode. If you want to go ahead and ask a question for next week's episode of Ask Hippo, make sure to leave it down in the comments down below. If your question does not appear, that is because I've answered it a shit ton in previous ones, and I'll just tell you on Twitter or something if you really are that interested. Anyway, let's go ahead and get straight into this week's Ask Hippo. One thing I should note before we start though is if you are going to ask a question, please make it no more than 5. The kind of perfect amount is 3, but no more than 5, otherwise I won't answer them. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and get straight to the answering. Okay, so the first question is from Crash Test Dummy, and he has 3 questions. So number 1, whatever happened to the Horizon Racing League? Number 2, would you ever do something like similar to do in Need for Speed 2015? So I'm assuming he means anything like the Horizon Racing League in Need for Speed 2015. And would you ever do collaboration with dedicated gamers who aren't doing YouTube? So number 1, Horizon Racing League. So basically, I did a few weeks of that. I think I did 2, and then I stopped because it was just too much. Like, I couldn't stream every week. I couldn't do this because it took so long. Basically, that was a league I used to run, Horizon Racing League, obviously kind of in the name. So I gave it over to a guy on the forum I have, like, who usually kind of admins these types of things, and he kind of just gave up. He just never really did it. So like, that's how it went. Like, I gave the power and the organisers skills to someone else, and they just couldn't deliver, basically. So that's what happened with the Horizon Racing League. Would I do something similar in Need for Speed 2015? Probably not. Just streaming every Friday alone is a struggle, so I probably can't see myself doing that. And number 3, would I ever do collaborations with other dedicated gamers who don't upload on YouTube? Now, to be honest, probably not. For the basic reason, unless it was someone like, I don't know, like James Mount or fucking Craig, like, I don't think I would. I don't know, it just doesn't make a particularly lot of sense. When you're doing collabs with YouTubers, you're networking, you're making friends. Obviously, I'm not saying you can't make friends with dedicated gamers, but it doesn't make a lot of sense in a way. Like, a lot of the people, like, when you put in with Craptastic Jack, you think, oh, it's Craptastic Jack, and then I can go check out his channel afterwards. But if it's just some random generic gamer, it doesn't really have the same effect, if you know what I mean. So probably not. Like, with that, if you're talking about subs generally, I always record with subs. I think the videos, the Horizon stuff you'll see now, is actually recorded with just friends and subscribers. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how I see the collaborations and things. Like, if you're a YouTuber, fair enough, and if you've got good content, fair enough. But to be honest, I'll collab with you as long as everything's cool. Like, that's how I see it. As long as you're a cool guy and you're doing the thing you are doing is at a certain standard, then I'll be more than happy to collab. And that's my kind of situation. I've talked about this before, but yeah, that's what I think about it. Okay, so the next question is from Neelix Racing, aka the Dark Destroyer, aka Philip Britsky, and he has 3 questions. So since we talk about it a lot, pizza or hamburgers? Number 2, favourite childhood game other than the NFS franchise? And am I now one of the loyal hoes, baby G? So, number 1, pizzas or hamburgers? I'ma say hamburgers. Burgers generally are gorgeous. My favourite type of food. If you go out with me anywhere, you'll tend to see that I eat burgers quite a lot. So I've got to say, slap a beef patty on there, slap some, lettuce, tomato, all the standard condiments. I'm gonna have that, I'm gonna have that. I'd have that over a pizza any day of the week. Favorite childhood game other than NFS? Now, this is an interesting one because from a certain age, I never actually played anything but NFS. I got 1 game a year, and it was NFS up until like I got the PS3. So besides NFS, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Burnout Paradise maybe, I think was one. But besides that, like, there wasn't really many back in the day which I played. Sonic Heroes, again, was a great game back in the day. I can't think of Trackmania. Trackmania was another one I played back in my childhood. Besides that, there's not many other games which I can note of that aren't Need for Speed. Because, again, I just used to play Need for Speed religiously. And then number 3, am I one of your loyal hoes, baby girl? Yes, you are. Okay, the next question comes from Feely and the Dragon, and he has 3 questions. What is your favourite car, film car, excluding NFS and Fast and Furious? The Citroën CO1, the Peugeot 107, or the Toyota Aygo? And number 3, what would you do if you had a Acura Integra with a Honda badge? So, number 1, favourite car, excluding Fast and Furious and NFS? I don't know, that's actually kind of hard. Thing is, I'm not a big movie guy, so it's kind of hard to say that. I don't know. That's hard because I don't really watch many movies, and you know, when I obviously do watch movies, it's like it's a bit weird like that. I don't know. Maybe that Ferrari out of Bad Boys, that's quite good. I don't know. I haven't really got a favourite, to be honest. I mean, all my favourites are in the Fast and Furious one, so no, I don't really have a favourite. Number 2, Citroen C1, Peugeot 107, or Toyota Aygo. I'd have the Peugeot 107. And what would you do if you had an Acura with an Acura Integra with a Honda badge? Well, isn't an Acura Integra with a Honda badge a Honda anyway? Just think about that one. Think about that one. Alrighty, so the next set of questions comes from Shadow Reaper H, and he has 5 questions. So I'm not going to answer the first 2 because I've said loads of times, it's just an R32. So anyway, number 3 is Theo or McDonald's. Well, I wouldn't eat Theo's ass, so I'm going to say McDonald's. Number 4, would you like the upcoming NGOs to have a Supra with insane power? Not a clue what NGO means, so I'm going to skip that one out. And number 5, what do you like more, NFS or Forza? Every single day of the week, it's NFS. Forza for me is going downhill, and overall NFS is just a much better series, in my opinion at least. Okay, the next question comes from Majul Gaming, and he has 2 questions. So, what car do you get round in, whether it's yours or your family's? And would you rather have a Volkswagen Golf or a Ford Focus? So, what car? Honestly, I walk everywhere. Like, I walk and get buses everywhere. It's got to the point now where my family don't really pick me up or drop me off unless it's like from the train station. So, really, I walk everywhere, and I just kind of bus everywhere, but I kind of use my, well, I guess my mom drives me in her X5, her BMW X5, but yeah, I walk in kind of everywhere. Basic reason, it's just easy, like there's a bus stop down my road, and it's just a very easy thing to do. Number 2, would I have a Golf or a Focus? It has to be a Golf every day of the week. It's German, and it's just better, in my opinion. Like, I'd rather have a GTI over an R. Well, actually, it depends which Focus and what spec. If it's a stock Focus over a stock Golf, I'd have a Golf. But if it was an RS over a GTI, I'd have an RS. So it really depends. But yeah, I hope I answered your question alright. Let's go on to the next one. Okay, the next 3 questions come from Dylan, and his questions are pretty straightforward. So let's get straight into it. So, number 1, would you kill Dom is Live if he was standing right in front of you? Number 2, if you could have 5 cars in a DLC pack for Need for Speed 15, what would it be? And number 3, what's your least favourite car? So, number 1, I don't think anyone would kill Dom is Live unless you're a psycho. So, I'm going to go off on a limb and say I'm not a serial killer. Number 2, I can't really say that because I don't know what the car list is, so it doesn't really make sense for me to say DLC because I don't know what the car list is. And number 3, I don't really have a least favourite car. I don't know, I don't like the Prius. There's cars I don't like, but I don't have a car which I absolutely despise. I just kind of don't like some cars. So, with that being said, we'll go on to the next question. Okay, so the next couple questions come from Sawed, and he has 2 questions. So, number 1, why can't we drive police cars in Need for Speed 15, and what's wrong with that? And number 2, why isn't why isn't the new NFS got neons? So, number 1, this is kind of what's wrong with the NFS community, really. It's a lot of people who don't understand why police and kind of the underground setting don't go together. It's not about that, you know, like Need for Speed 15, it's about being an illegal street racer. It's not about being a cop. Being a cop was only really a thing that was introduced for the kind of hot pursuit style of game. For this style of game, it's more focusing on your car, you know, progressing. It's not hot pursuit. If you are expecting a hot pursuit game, you're going to be extremely disappointed. There's nothing wrong with having a cops on like a cop side in the game. It's just the majority don't want that, hence why they're giving us this, and hence why they've had, you know, the response they've had in terms of the views for the trailers and stuff. So I think people just need to understand that, you know, like everyone needs to just grow up a bit and realise that there's nothing wrong with having exotics and stuff. It's just like, it's just preference, really. Like, everyone has an opinion. No one's opinion's right. It's just like, just have an opinion. And number 2, why doesn't the new NFS have neon? To answer that question, you should probably go and ask one of the developers. I don't know. I haven't developed the game, so yeah. With that being said, we'll go on to the next question. Okay, the next 5 questions come from Marco Car Collector, and he has, well, like I said, 5 questions. So, do you HIV swag? What the fuck? Number 2, do you like Gran Turismo Smooth Jazz? Number 3, if you could have a movie, what would it be about? Number 4, if you go in an R32, how would you feel? And number 5, do you think smaller YouTubers have the potential to become big? So number 1, I'm not sure what HIV swag has to do about anything, so I'm going to leave that one out. That sounds like a really weird question. Number 2, do you like Gran Turismo Smooth Jazz? Yep, I do like the menu music. Number 3, if you could make a movie, what would it be about? I'd honestly, I think I'd make a 2-pack documentary. I don't know why. I just think that'd be I think that's a really cool idea. The following his life and, you know, his death and stuff. I think that'd be a really cool documentary to make. Number 4, if you were given an R32, how would you feel? I want to kill myself. I would want to kill myself if I was given an R32 for free. I'd actually want to work for it. I don't like being given things for free. I'd like to work for them, so I'll probably just kill myself. Number 5, yeah, I think smaller YouTubers do have the chance to grow. If you're good, you'll grow. That's how it is. Like, you know, it depends how clustered, you know, what you're doing is. Like Minecraft and FIFA and stuff, you're not going to chance because it's so clustered at that point. But you know, if you're in a community which is thriving, then yeah, if you're good, you'll be growing in no time. For example, Speedway. You know, Niner, CJ, J, even me to an example. I think me to an example. This time last year, I was only on 400 subs at the start of last year, 300 subs, and now I'm almost on 3.5k. It's pretty mad. So yeah, of course, I think everyone has the potential to grow. That is if you blow good content and, you know, you get more likes and whatnot. So yeah, I do think that. Okay, the next question comes from RacerGT2, and he has 5 questions. So number 1, Star Wars Battlefront or Destiny? Number 2, would you rather have a Porsche Boxster or a 350Z for a first car? Fucking hell. to have either of those would be pretty decent. Should I get a PS4 or an Xbox One? Halo 5 or Destiny, and PS2 or the first Xbox? So I haven't played Star Wars Battlefront, so I can't really answer the first one. Nor can I, well, I guess I could answer that one. Would I have a Boxster or a 350Z? 350Z for me. Should I get a PS4 or an Xbox One? Honestly, they're both the same. Just get the ones which you prefer the exclusives for, and that's how I see it. Number 4, Halo 5 or Destiny, Halo 5. And PS2 or the first Xbox. Again, they're both the same, to be honest. I go for the PS2 just because it has a bigger library of games, but I honestly couldn't give a shit. Console wars are stupid. The Xbox One is the same as the PS4. Anyone who actually cares about the performance of a console, just go PC, really, to be honest. If you care that much about how your game looks, go PC, because honestly, consoles aren't made for graphics and shit. If you really care about the frames, but like, honestly, the PS4 and the Xbox One are exactly the same. I don't get why people moan so much. Oh, look at this, the PS4 has a higher clock speed. You know, like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter at all. Like, people go on for days like it's going to make some huge difference in the future. You got to keep in mind that the Xbox is made by Microsoft, and that's it's basically a Windows computer, easily optimized. You know, it's like, just chill, bro, chill. You know, like, they're both the same. Just pick the one that you prefer the controller and the exclusives for, and get that, and just enjoy life. So yeah, with that being said, we'll go on to the next question. Okay, the next question comes from Subaru, and he has 5 questions. So, number 1, what's your opinion on Nintendo? This is going to be quite an interesting one. Number 2, what genre of games do you like other than racing? Number 3, out of the outlaw, speed, build, style, and crew, which one will you aim towards in Need for Speed 2015? Who's your favourite icon in all of the ones at Need for Speed 2015? And the Torino or the Levin. So, number 1, my opinion on Nintendo. I think this could go on for quite a while because I do have quite a big opinion on them. I think at their core, they make games for the gamers. The only people you see moan about Nintendo games are the people who don't own Nintendos. So that enough should say enough about them. For me, it doesn't really feel like they are targeting to me. It feels like they're really gimmicky at this point, and they just need to kind of go back to the drawing board and make a new console and actually be part of the console war between the Xbox One and the PS4. And the Wii U, for me, the fact it doesn't support a Need for Speed 2015 is enough for me not to buy it. So just gaining the third-party support again, you know, getting back on their feet, obviously with the loss of their COO or CEO, what was his name, Iwata-san or something like that. You know, it's going to be hard for them to kind of get that sense of originality and like just that kind of flair they had before. But I still think they can do it. You know, just got to go back to the drawing board, get a console which can contend with the PS4 and Xbox One, and just go from there, really. Number 2, what genre of games do I play other than racing games? I play quite a lot of everything. You know, kind of from after Undercover onwards, I kind of branched out, started playing other games. You know, obviously action adventure. I play kind of some of the wrestling games, like WWE games. I play, you know, FPSs. I'm a big FPS fan. You know, people don't like FPSs, linear FPSs more specifically, but I really do. I'm a really big fan of that. Obviously, open world games. I play everything. I'm a gamer. You know, I'm a gamer. I play everything. You know, I'm all rounded. So, as long as it's a good game, I'll probably play it. That's how I see it. So, number 3, out of the 5 types of styles in the Need for Speed 2015, outlaw, build, crew, which one am I going to aim towards? Probably, I'm just going to be an all-rounder, to be honest. I don't think I'm going to aim for a specific one. I'll take it as it comes, and I'll just do all of them. Like, why not? Why aim to one when you can aim for all of them? That's how I see it. And obviously, number 4 is who's my favourite icon, Ken Block. And number 5, Torino or Levin. If you don't know what that is, those are the different types of AE86. And for me, I prefer the Torino. Okay, the next question comes from DatPolishGuy, and he has 5 questions. So, do you like NFS Carbon? It seems like a lot of people forget about that game. Rivals or Hopshot 2010? Do you play any of the games and races? I kind of already answered that one, so I'll miss that one out. What town are you currently living in? And tuners or muscles? So number 1, do you like Carbon? Yes. Do I like it compared to Most Wanted Underground 2? Not so much. I think it had a lot of missed potential looking back on it, but it's a good game. It's better than a lot of recent Need for Speed, so I guess I can't moan on that front. Rivals of Hopshot 2010. Hopshot 2010, I feel like I just prefer it being a track racer for me. Like, it's a kind of a menu racer, it's not a free roam racer, and I just prefer that aspect of things. Number 3, do you play any other games and races? Yeah, I kind of just already talked about that. Number 4, what town-city do you live in? I live in a wonderful city in England called Wolverhampton. You can go ahead and Google it. I'm not going to tell you my specific whereabouts. And number 5, tuners or muscles? I'm going to say tuners because I just prefer tuners. So, you know, with that being said, we'll go on to the next question. Okay, the next question comes from frontmancosts, and he has 2 questions. So, anything that you want in Need... I don't understand what that first question means at all, so I'm just going to miss that out and go straight on to the next one, which is if you had 2 copies of Need for Speed 2015, but who would you give it to? Well, that's hard. If I had 2 copies of NFS 2015, who would I give it to? I'd say it wouldn't be anyone on YouTube, because obviously everyone on YouTube is going to get it anyway. It'd be someone who isn't intentionally getting the game, so it'd be a family member. I'm not going to say his name out loud just in case if he doesn't want me to say it, but it'd be a family member, and probably oh, that's hard. I think it'd just be family, to be honest. People who wouldn't usually buy Need for Speed, just to kind of, you know, show them how good it really is. People who played Need for Speed back in the day and kind of fell out in love with it. I think I'd give it to someone like that in my family, and I just go from there, really. So with that being said, we'll go on to the next question. Okay, the next question comes from Wintery Apollo, and he has 2 questions. So what made Most Wanted 2005 really good? And if the crew somehow had a chance to beat NFS, what would Ivory need to do? So, what made Most Wanted 2005 good? Well, like, one of the best games I've ever played. I would say it was a mix of a lot of things. It was a mix of really good gameplay mechanics and physics, a really good progression model, customization, cops, how the cops were implemented. They actually had a purpose, you know, it was enjoyable to face them. You know, the story, I think there's a lot of things. Overall, it was just a really well-made and well-polished game, and I haven't seen a racing game like that in a very long time. Probably Burnout Paradise might be the last one, maybe Midnight Club. Like it just had such a good level of polish. It was just overall a really good game. Number 2, if the crew somehow had a chance to beat NFS, what would Ivory need to do? Well, honestly, when I first looked at the crew, it was kind of marketed to me as kind of a Most Wanted 2005 game. Obviously, we kind of were mismarketed that in a sense that it wasn't what we were given. All they need to do is have a good story, make sure the physics are better than they are now, because the physics are a bit glitchy and a bit weird. And you know, just do what they like. Just do what Need for Speed did best, which was everything I just said. You know, like. It's not just one thing, it's a lot of things, and it's everything that Need for Speed Most Wanted 2005, for example, did right. So with that being said, we'll go on to the next question. Okay, the next question comes from Sher Ali, and he has 3 questions. So, number 1, what's your opinion on the way Lamborghini has turned, for example, with the Huracan being too quote-unquote neat and boring? And number 2, do you want SUVs dash pickup trucks in Need for Speed 2015? And number 3, if Need for Speed 2015 fails, do you think it's going to be the last one in the franchise? So, number 1, my opinions on Lamborghini. I actually really like the Huracan. I don't get why everyone says it doesn't look mean. I think it looks really, really nice. You know, the people moan about how the way it drives and stuff, but like, you've never driven it, so like, how can you say that? A lot of people who say that haven't even drove a car, so it's like, yeah. I think the Huracan's good. I think the Huracan, it's a really nice car. 10 out of 10, you know, I love it. So, number 2, do you want SUVs and pickup trucks in Need for Speed 2015? Nope, I would want sports cars, tuners, you know, muscles, and a few exotics in there too, but I wouldn't want SUVs. It just wouldn't fit the game, in my opinion. If NFS 2015 fails, will it be the last in the series? No, Need for Speed will forever live on. You know, I think the fact, it can't fail at this point. Just the customization, enough is like, enough alone is to... It will sell the game. You know, the customization from what we've seen so far is enough to please me for a few months. So, I don't think it can fail, but if it were, you know, yeah, I don't think it would be. The Need for Speed name is huge. Like, if you go to someone who doesn't even know video games, say, oh, have you played Need for Speed? They'll most likely say yes. It's a household name at this point, and I just don't see it dying, you know. All that history, like, I doubt I could see it dying at this point. So, yeah, we'll go on to the next question. Okay, the next 5 questions come from Tama, and he obviously has 5 questions. Well, no, he has 4 questions, but he's put like weird, really weird numbering on there. So, what do you think about the situation with the Gran Turismo series, and what would you like to see in GT7? Which old game would you like to see rebuilt into next-gen consoles? Do you think DirectX 12 will change the selling situation for the Xbox One? And if you could create a game, which doesn't include a racing game, what would it be? So, number 1, I think Gran Turismo 7 is going to be good. I think they're actually listening this time. You know, they got a sound designer in, and overall, it seems like from what I've heard so far, they're doing a good job. So I have hope that Gran Turismo 7 will be a good game. Obviously, at the moment, they're not in a good situation with how GT6 sold compared to GT5. But the Gran Turismo series, it's no competition sales-wise. It's doing a lot better than Forza ever has. So, you know, like in that sense alone, you know, it's enough. Like, I think they'll be fine in whatever they do. You know, Gran Turismo, you can never really go wrong. It's the same thing every time. So we'll see how it goes, really. And number 2, which old game would you like to rebuild for next-gen consoles? Underground 2-Most Wanted 2005, obviously my favourite game, so naturally I would want that to happen. What do you think DirectX 12 will change the selling situation for Xbox One? At the moment, for me anyway, Xbox One seems like the more desirable console. It's got more exclusives. It seems like they're backing it more. The PS4, they're just playing safe, and understandably so. You know, they don't really need to kind of pull out any risks because they're in the lead by a large amount. So, yeah, probably, you know, to some of the hardcore fans. But honestly, the Xbox One, it's on its way back very, very slowly. So we'll see how that goes in the next coming years. And if you could create a racing game, which wasn't a racing game, what would it be? Probably some type of sci-fi shooter. I think it'd be some type of open world game, I think, to be honest. I don't know, really. I'd have to think into that. But probably some type of open world shooter where you could go around and just... The world is your limit, basically, I think is what I'd do. So, yeah, we'll go on to the next question. Okay, the next 4 questions come from Riskablesk3595, and his 4 questions are: do you already have a list for the 5-car garage in Need for Speed 2015? Honda Civics or Golfs? What's your opinion on the 2016 Miata and the Ford GT? And Test Drive Unlimited 1 or 2? So, number 1, I don't know the car list, so no, I don't really have one. I know the BRZ is going to be in it, and I know the R32 is going to be in it, but besides that, no, not really. Number 2, Honda Civic or Golf. Depends which ones. I'd say overall, as kind of all of the cars, it'd have to be the Golf. Number 3, opinions on the 2016 Miata and the GT. I don't like the Ford GT at all. I think it looks really weird, and that's not really a popular opinion, but that's my opinion. I just not a big fan of the Ford GT, and that's just me personally. And I think the new MX-5 looks absolutely insane. I absolutely love that car. And TDU1 or TDU2, I haven't really played either, so I'm going to skip out on that question because I don't really have the expertise to kind of answer that. So with that being said, we'll go on to the final question from Diffusion. And he has 5 questions. So, number 1, what's your favourite NFS character car, excluding the M3 GTR? What is your favourite car that's been announced for Need for Speed 2015 so far? Did you ever play a PlayStation 2 game called Shocks? Is it worth getting a PS4 just for the exclusives? And what's your favourite non-racing game? So number 1, favourite NFS car besides that would be the 350Z, Rachel's 350Z, or Mia's RX-8. One of the two. It'd be really hard to pick between the two. Favourite car so far, obviously, it's the R32. It's my favourite car generally, so yeah, it has to be the R32. Did I ever play a PS2 game? Nope, I didn't own a PS2 until like 2011, so yeah, I was a bit slow on that. Is it worth getting a PS4 for the exclusives? For me personally, no, not really. Not at the moment anyway. I think when Gran Turismo comes out it will be. But at the moment I should have really waited on next gen consoles, to be honest. And my favourite non-racing game, it probably has to be Modern Warfare 2 was again one of my favourite games of all time. Trackmania, the original, was really good. It's hard. It's really hard. Far Cry 3 was a really good game. I'm trying to look in my library right now, but I don't really know, to be honest. I don't know, it's hard, because there's a lot of games which I play. Red Dead Redemption. I think, honestly, I'd say GTA 4. I thought GTA 4 had a really good story. I overall really preferred that game, so I'm going to say GTA 4. I think GTA 4 was a really good game. They really did well on that, so yeah, GTA 4. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe. You know, you guys have been awesome. This has been the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe and peace.